Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Lexington. I'm glad you're with me this morning. Oh, it's just, I have a window here to my left, and I love looking out at the beauty of the snow. We've had snow falling for the past couple of days. It hasn't accumulated much, but just to watch it fall is so magical, isn't it? I love it. We're going to begin this morning, like we always do, with a song, because my daughter puts this video on YouTube and we can't recreate the music on YouTube because of copyright issues. But this is a song by a woman by the name of Jana, J-A-N-A, Stanfield, S-T-A-N-F-I-E-L-D. I'm sure she has a website. This particular CD is called Enjoy the Ride, and I chose the song Butterfly on it. And it's really interesting, the lyrics to Butterfly. And of course we all know about how becoming a butterfly is one of the beautiful stories of transformation, right? So I thought you would enjoy it this morning, so I hope you like it. Let's listen to that first. Just things technical, you know. Okay.
Sitting alone on a hillside, confused about what to do. My choices were all complicated. It was time to think this through. Spotted a striped caterpillar, stretching her face to the sky, then dragging her cumbersome body an inch at a time. I was feeling the pain of slow progress when a friend of hers fluttered by. As I leaned close, the caterpillar spoke with a voice as soft as a sigh, and she said, "Butterfly, please tell me again I'm gonna be alright. I can feel the change is coming. I can feel it in my skin. I can feel myself outgrowing this life I've been living in, and I'm afraid of change. So butterfly, please tell me again I'm gonna be alright. I'm like my friend caterpillar, afraid of that dark cocoon, wanting to hide in the tall grass when change is coming soon. But all of the things that we long for are born on the wings of change, and losses can lead us to blessings that we can't explain. So butterflies remind us there's magic in every life, and we can become what we dream of if fat, furry worms can fly. So I say, butterfly, please tell me again I'm gonna be alright. I can feel the change is coming. I can feel it in my skin. I can feel myself outgrowing this life I've been living in, and I'm afraid of change. So butterfly, please tell me again I'm gonna be alright. And on the day of my last breath, I expect to see angels like butterflies over my head. And I'll say, butterfly, please tell me again I'm gonna be alright. I can feel a change is coming. I can feel it in my skin. I can feel myself outgrowing this life I've been living in. And I'm afraid of change. So butterfly, please tell me again I'm gonna be alright. Butterfly, please tell me again I'm gonna be
goodness. I guess you could tell I was crying. Butterfly, please tell me again that I'm going to be all right. And I feel a change is coming in my skin from this life that I've been living in. Oh, wow. Okay. Nose blowing time. Well, I cried when I prepared, you know, and was digging through songs to find something to play. I cried then. I thought, okay, I've got this out of the way. I won't cry tomorrow morning. Not. So I hope you enjoyed it. And I've got a special treat for you at the end. Since I've learned the magical task of playing things off of my iPad. So I have something special. And if you like it, let me know, and I'll continue to play it at the end of each Sunday service. I hope everybody's doing well, and again, welcome to Unity of Lexington. Wherever you are on your spiritual path, you're welcome here. And our service is posted on YouTube. However, the recording will appear later in the day, and maybe even the first of the week. And again, as I mentioned earlier, for copyright reasons, we can't include the music. And I hate that because I wish the YouTube viewers could listen to it. And also this Sunday is the last Sunday in a series of 3. And my meditation will be after the talk rather than at the beginning of my talk. So let's begin with the Unity prayer list. We're praying for peace and harmony in our community, our nation and world, for divine wisdom for our national and world leaders, for all those who are suffering from and have transitioned due to the coronavirus, for their grieving families and friends, as well as for the frontline and essential workers, especially Nicole and my daughter Leslie. Nicole is Nettie's daughter. Please pray for healing for Reverend Megan and her family in the sudden loss of her sister Cameron. For Diane, my sister Ginger, Nettie's sister Bill J, Tanja, Patrick, Sharon, Dennis, David, Pammy, Taylor, Larry, and Liz. And those prayers are beginning to work. Mackenzie, Chris and Colette and family in the sudden loss of their daughter Jordan. Taylor and family. Jeanette, Belinda and Hans, her father who's in Germany. Dan and Karen, Dennis and Karen, Hillary and Margie. And I want to share with you that we're very grateful for the prayers that you've been praying. And you know, you don't have to remember all these names. Spirit knows. And you can just say, God, I'm praying for all the people on the Unity prayer list. And that's just as powerful. So we're grateful for answered prayer because Katie, my friend's daughter who had contracted COVID during her pregnancy, delivered a healthy baby boy. And I'm so pleased to announce that this morning. And also my friend who's in Paducah, her name is EJ, her brother Dwayne is so much better. He's recovered and is now well. So these prayers work. And if you'd like me to pray with you and place you on this list. Just send me first names. You don't even have to tell me what the malady is or the challenge is. We don't really have to know that. So if you'd like prayer support, write me at Rev Carol with an E, revcarolunity@gmail.com, or private message me on Messenger, and I'll be happy to do that for you. I thank everyone who's supporting us. We're doing well. Of course, we don't really have a lot of expenses since we're online and don't have a building, don't have a lease payment as we usually do, but we're doing really well, and thank you for all your donations. If you want to donate, the two ways you can donate is go to Unity of Lexington, our page, and there'll be a link on there, Shop Now. So shop now on Unity of Lexington and donate your money that way, or you can put it in the mail. And if you look under the About link, our address, our post office box is on there, and you can mail it to our post office box. So this morning I have chosen, excuse me, a reading from the Daily Word. That's the Unity, Silent Unity publication, the unity.org publication. And the word for today is dream. And I will put my glasses on for this one. And the affirmation for today is, I turn my dreams into reality. Some of the most audacious, bold, history-making events began as dreams. And you know, we're coming up on Martin Luther King's anniversary, that holiday on Monday. So this is so appropriate. And I would say his bold, history-making event began as his dream, where he said, I have a dream. Wow. Born in the imaginations of those who understood the promise and potential of humanity and worked to realize their vision. Boy, he did. And even if my dreams do not change the world, they have the power to change my life. Today I remember those whose dreams were fueled by their hard work, faith, and determination. I look to their example when my dreams feel far away and I'm running low on hope. So I'll say that again. Today I remember those whose dreams were fueled by their hard work, faith, and determination. I look to their example when my dreams feel far away and I'm running low on hope. I rekindle my dreams through my imagination, which keeps them vivid. My strength helps me remain committed to their realization, and my zeal renews my enthusiasm to work toward creating the life and the world of my dreams. And the scripture today is taken from the book of Joel, 2nd chapter, 28th verse. Your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men and women shall see visions. I added the women. And again, the affirmation today is, I turn my dreams into reality. Yes. Dreams are there for a reason. God has placed them in your heart so they can be realized, so that you can bring about greater good for your own life and that of those around you. So isn't it wonderful to have dreams? I think it is. I love having dreams. So I'm going to open with some funny quotes that I found this morning. And here they are. I didn't attend the funeral, but I sent a nice letter saying I approved of it. That was by Mark Twain. Wasn't he something? This is what George Bernard Shaw said to Winston Churchill. I am enclosing 2 tickets to the first night of my new play. Bring a friend if you have one. I don't know if they were just, sparring with each other or they, whatever, but I thought that was funny. And in response, this is what Winston Churchill said. I cannot possibly attend the first night. Will attend the second, if there is one. Oh, funny. The next one is, I feel so miserable without you. It's almost like having you here. It's by a man named Stephen Bishop. And another one here from Irvin Cobb. He was a humorist from Paducah, Kentucky, where I lived for 22 years. I've just learned about his illness. Let's hope it's nothing trivial. He must not like that guy, that person. All right, some cause happiness wherever they go, others whenever they go. And of course, that's Oscar Wilde. He was always a hoot. And the last one I have is by Groucho Marx, that famous guy. I just will never not think of him without that duck dropping down when he had his, holding a word. Do you remember that? That was many years ago. That was eons ago. Here's what he said. I've had a perfectly wonderful evening, but I'm afraid this wasn't it. I hope y'all enjoy these funnies because, you know, in the times that we're living in, my goodness, we really need to have some humor and some lightness in our life. We need light in our life, but we also need lightness, and I think that's really, really important. So this is our last Sunday in this series called Evolutionary Enlightenment, and it's the title of the book by Andrew Cohen. And it's really an interesting book. And here's what I would say in opening this morning. It's without a doubt that we are going through a great time of change. A great time. I'll take a drink of water here. But we've not only had to prepare to live life differently now, but we're having to do our life in a different way. I know all of us, no one out there is an exception to what I'm saying. And would you agree that so many systems and structures have fallen and are falling apart? That's what we're witnessing in the media. Well, this I consider to be the good news. They have to come apart so they can be recreated from a new and higher consciousness. This is the way of the universe. I know it's hard to watch all of this chaos and all of this, it just causes a lot of angst, I think. And for myself, I have to get away from it. I mean, I can't watch too much of it because it just would really be upsetting. So I have to really ration how much I really watch the news. But the good news is that all these structures and all these systems are falling apart because new ones are emerging. And the only way they can emerge with at a higher level, a higher consciousness, is that we have to hold that higher consciousness. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. We can't hold on to these older systems any more than we held on to the horse and carriage as a means of transportation, which everyone loved and really didn't want cars to come and really fought that change. If you'll look up history, it's very interesting to me. I mean, people were very upset because, of course, it knocked a lot of people out of jobs, if nothing else. So we are making way for something bigger, greater, and more expansive to take place. And I hope that you can look at things from that perspective because it really helps. And it's the truth with a capital T. There's this famous saying that I know everybody has heard that Einstein said, you cannot solve the problem at the level of thinking in which it was created. Is that not the most brilliant quote you've ever heard? No, we can't solve our problems at the level of current thinking, at the level that we created these problems. So, things are breaking down so they can be rebuilt at a new level of thinking and a new evolutionary shift up. Yes. So things are breaking down so they can be rebuilt from this place, this new place in consciousness that we need to hold. We are the ones, as the Hopi elders have told us, we are the ones to bring that new consciousness to the table. You've heard the saying, you've got to have a breakdown, oftentimes, to have a breakthrough. I think this is one of those times, these moments in history. Would you agree with me? So I want to go over what we've gone over the past 2 Sundays about the 2 principles or teachings or tenets that Andrew Cohen points out in his book, Evolutionary Enlightenment. We've covered 4 of them, and here's the 4. Number 1, clarity of intention to evolve. And we have set that intention the past 2 Sundays that we want to individually evolve. Because when we evolve individually, we carry everybody with us to evolve. Number 2, the power of volition or choice, in that we take 100% of responsibility for our experience. We're not into blame. I told you that has 2 syllables, be lame. We're not into it. We could easily go there right now, could we not? We're not into blame. Number 3, looking at everything and avoiding nothing, which helps us to see our part in the whole scheme of things. Not just thinking, oh, it's all happening out there outside of me, but realizing that we have a part in it. And finally, number 4, the process of perspective. And I won't get into that, but you can listen to the last 2 Sundays where I did talk a lot about these 4. So we have one final principle, which according to the author is not a standalone principle, but is very dependent and a result of the previous 4 that I just mentioned being embodied and being lived. So here's what he said. If you wholeheartedly pursue your own clarity of intention to evolve, and number 2, if you take unconditional responsibility for your power of choice, and number 3, if you fearlessly face everything and avoid nothing, and finally, if you cultivate a process of perception in earnest, then you will, and this is number 5, then if you do all those things I just mentioned, you live out all those principles I just mentioned, then number 5, you will become aware of an arising sense of cosmic consciousness, which Cohen describes as a care and concern for the vast evolutionary process of all humankind. Wow. Here's what he goes on to say. You will recognize that your own spiritual development, your liberation from your ego, is absolutely essential for the evolution of humanity. This is why your motive becomes, and I quote, your motive becomes, I want to be free not only for my own sake, but for the sake of the whole of the universe. That is the awakening of cosmic consciousness. How about that? So that's number 5. And I would add to that when we awaken to cosmic consciousness or conscience, you can call it either way, not only do we awaken to the idea that we play a significant role in the whole of humanity, in the whole of the universe, but we awaken to the idea that we are part of all of creation. And there is a spiritual dimension in this wholeness that cannot be left out if we are truly going to evolve. And we call it the cosmic consciousness, the Christ consciousness. So we are connected to humanity and to something so much greater than just ourselves. And I hope everyone can see that. This is the way that we realize our true and profound relationship with the universal whole and to God. It's not only the way that we realize the role that we play in the whole, but the complete realization that we are one with that whole with a capital W. Now, having said all that, it's going to take our deep, understanding of who and whose, with an S, we are in order for this new consciousness to emerge. Otherwise, gang, I just have to tell you, if we don't, we are going to remain in spiritual kindergarten consciousness, spiritual elementary school consciousness. Let's move on to graduate level living, and that's what I'm urging you and hoping that you will do. But here's a question for you. Don't we always find ourselves, now we're talking about evolving, becoming part of the whole of humanity and the universe, and going higher in our own spiritual evolution up the spiral, all those wonderful things, but, and you know, but always erases everything that's been said before, and I don't want to do that. But what I'm saying is, let me ask you this question, and I ask myself this question: don't we always argue for our limitations? Oh, I can't do this because of that. Oh, I can't do that because of this. I mean, it just goes on and on. Years ago, there was a book called Illusions by Richard Bach. And here's what he says: argue for your limitations, and they're yours. Yeah. You argue for them, and they're yours. You're talking about them all the time, which metaphysically is a way of praising your limitations. I know you might not have thought that way, but you need to begin to think that way. I need to urge you to begin to think that way. Whatever you're talking about all the time and focusing on is a form of praise, and it will increase in your life, because praise increases things, whatever, in our lives. So that's what I'm saying to you. Don't argue for your limitations, or it will completely, what's the word I want, block your ability to go on up the spiral. I'm not sure. I don't really think that I want to come back here and repeat all this again. I'd like to grow, learn, and develop, and to go to my own next higher level, and to whatever plane of existence that takes me there. It might be coming back here, but I'm just saying I don't want to do this same life over again. Do you? Some people live to be 99 years old, and some people live the same year over 99 times. Have you heard that? I believe that's true, especially people who are stuck in their evolution. So don't argue for your limitations, because they're not yours in truth with a capital T. They're not yours in truth, but they will become yours in experience, in your life experience. Although in truth, which is aligned with your soul, which knows nothing of limitations. Thank you, soul. It's great. So now is the time, and we are the people to bring forth this evolution. And I have to say that I think there could not be a more significant time than right here and right now for us to evolve. We have got to evolve. We've got to evolve. Would you agree with me? I mean, you know, if I was with my congregation in the church, I'd be saying, "Can I hear some amens?" I don't yell on the pulpit, but every now and then I like to have an amen. I'm going to share a story with you of the Seekers. It's a legend. I don't know exactly where it came from, but it's a legend about the story of the Seekers who heard there was a council of evolved masters high atop a mountain in a faraway land. This gentleman that was seeking so desired to learn at the feet of these evolved beings that he sold everything he owned and headed out on a long journey to reach them. It was a journey filled with hardships, losses, and pain. It took years to get there. As the years passed, he accumulated a small band of other seekers, and they traveled together. And finally, they reached the precipice. This is probably the Himalayas they're talking about, I'm guessing. Finally, they reached the location of these esteemed, evolved masters. There in the secluded monastery. So they walked in and saw the robed and hooded masters all sitting around a table. Their hearts leapt for joy. Finally, after an arduous journey, they had arrived. So they rushed to the table, only to find the robes empty. They were shocked. they were dismayed and they were disheartened. But then they came to a realization. They came to the realization they were to put on the empty robes because they were the masters they had been seeking. Yes, yes. Thanks for the amen, Patricia. So, in tweaking the ending of that story a bit, the seeker and his friends, who are now the evolved masters, need to get up from the table, walk out in the monastery, come down the mountain, and walk in the world. They have to come into the world and share their enlightenment, which is what I'm asking you today to do. All of us today, right here, right now, are the evolved masters. However, the seekers had to come into their realization, and we are called to come into our realization of our own soul's mastery. But we must recognize and embrace it, that these things that I'm saying are true. There's a lot at stake here and now. It's a time for us to deepen into our being and evolve into our becoming. This is far more than a personal, individual matter, this spiritual enlightenment, this evolving into this enlightenment. Our ability or inability has universal consequences because we are all connected. So it's written in the Tao, tell me, does the ruler of a great empire go out begging for rice? Listen, the inner is the foundation of the outer. The still is the master of the restless. One who seeks their treasure from the outer world is cut off from their own roots. Without roots, they become restless. Being restless, their mind is weak. And with a mind such as this, they lose all command below heaven. End of quote. They lose all command of their life. Who doesn't want to be in command of their life? Who doesn't want to be the master of their life? This is our goal. This is our goal for ourselves individually and for humankind as a whole. So I'm going to share with you in closing a question that pops up for many people, and I want to talk to you about this question. And a lot of people may be asking themselves this now with COVID and all the civil unrest and things of that nature. They may be asking, why is this happening to me? That is a victim's question. And it may smart for you to hear that. It smarted the first time I heard it. But hear this when I tell you. Why is this happening through and for me is a question by those who wish to experience significant spiritual transformation in this lifetime. So we need to take and put in a drawer that question, why is this happening to me? And pull out the question, why is this happening through and for me? Because if we believe what the Tao says, that everything works together for our good, we're going to believe that everything that's happening to us is happening through and for us. And that can be really, really hard. Yes, I know. But we want to do this. We want to go on up, do we not? We want to evolve spiritually. We don't want to stay in spiritual kindergarten. So, number one, recognizing we don't deserve hurtful things. Number one. Number two, we recognize there is no such thing as separateness, which I just talked about. We're all one. We're all joined at the hip spiritually. Number three, recognizing that we're all joined at this soul level, the soul level. And recognizing that everything happens for a reason. All four of those are hallmark signs of spiritual transformation. All four of those signs are the signs of a soul who is spiritually transforming. And I want to be among those souls, don't you? Yes. This is what we can do to help during this pandemic. This is what we can do to help during civil unrest and spiritual unrest as well. So we have power. We're not powerless through all of this at all. I hope you know that about yourself. There was a movie that was one of my favorites called Crazy Heart. But you may have seen that movie, but I seriously doubt that most people remembered this line, but boy, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I call it a cosmic 2x4. Here's the line from the movie. Everything happens for a reason, even when it's wrong. ... Especially when it's wrong. Yes. If we wish to evolve, if we truly, honestly, at depth wish to evolve and become fully enlightened, we have to stop looking out there and begin looking at the story of what happened to us at this experience from within here. We must enter a full realization that we are part of it all, part of the whole. Now, I wrote this, and I'm going to read it to you rather than try to ad-lib or anything, because I think this is at the crux of what I've been talking about the last 3 Sundays. Now, this is particularly important to realize. At the moment of realization that this thing that has happened is a part of you, and I'm particularly talking about things that are difficult that happen to us, and I won't go into, you know for yourself what's been really hard and difficult. So at the moment of realization that this thing that has happened is a part of you, at the moment of looking at it without pointing a finger of blame, because the soul never blames. The personality blames, but the soul that is like this with God, it never blames, okay? So at the pivotal moment of your agreement to hear what it is your soul is telling you about this thing, this experience, in other words, when you're going inside and you're not blaming anybody, you're not looking out there, you're looking in here and saying to your soul, what's going on? You know, what's this for me? At that moment, if you do that, if you can do that, and why don't you start with little things? I said I wasn't going to ad-lib. I told a story. I'm ad-libbing. Start with little things where you can do this, where you can move away from blaming something or someone outside of yourself and go within and say, what is my part in it, God? And what does this have for me? When you do that, at that moment, miracles happen in your life. Magic happens, and God happens in your life. It's what I love about it. It makes it all worthwhile. At that transformational moment, you are engaging a terrific, a powerful, dynamic force with a capital F. And you can call it God, you can call it Buddha, you can call it the Force, you can call it Christ, you can call it the Tao, you can call it divine intelligence, you can call it a rock in a parking lot. It doesn't matter. It's in effect. It's in effect, always. When you come into that realization, no blame, just that awesome, deep soul realization that it is all a part of the whole and that you are part of the whole, then today becomes different than yesterday. And then today you will know yourself as the genius you were created to be. Yes. Amen. So it is. All right. So we're going to move into our meditation this morning. And I've been doing what I call cosmic meditations. And I hope you enjoy this one. And this one, of course, like the 2 that I've done previously, bring into consideration what I've talked about. So I invite you to close your outer eyes as we participate with a conscious awareness in the creation of where the evolutionary process is going. And let's move into this place, as author Cohen describes it, the ever ecstatic immediacy of the possible. So let's move into that place. We have spent time in conscious creation over the past 3 Sundays, seeing our world 1 year from now, and seeing ourselves propelled on the upward spiral of evolution. You have evolved your consciousness. I invite you now to see yourself wearing that robe of the enlightened master, walking down from the mountaintop of illumination and into the world of form. You now walk this earth with a greater understanding of who you are and how you relate to the world. See yourself walking and becoming love made manifest, peace made manifest, harmony made manifest, abundance made manifest, and joy made manifest. Now, I invite you to see in your mind's eye a particular situation that is bothersome to you. Let's say let's do a world situation here this morning. Perhaps it's world hunger, child abuse, war, genocide. You pick one that resonates with your heart. You might see all the civil unrest that's going on, not just here, but all over the world. Now engage for these few brief moments in the principle that we talked about, avoiding nothing and seeing everything. All right, so now you have this challenging situation, this difficult situation in your mind. You're seeing it. I'm seeing it. Now consciously shift your mental picture to what the author calls the ever ecstatic immediacy of the possible. Now see this situation, this worldly situation, completely resolved. Completely, totally resolved and totally dissolved. Just dissolved, going up into the nothingness from which it came. See the love, the peace, the harmony, the abundance, the joy, all made manifest right now through you and me and all of humanity in the middle of that challenge. Picture it. Give the vision life and feel it. Feel all of that harmony and peace and joy and love. Feel it. Bring your happy feeling to this vision. Invite everyone to take a deep breath. This is a supreme moment of realization. See your world with these fresh eyes today. See everyone from the deepest I am space within you. See the divine in you meeting and greeting the divine in all the others. And finally, know that the I am within you. This presence walks as you. You now walk and will continue to walk in the limitless land of I am. I am. I am. I am. And following the words of that great I am are always words that are uplifting and positive and supportive. I am beauty. I am love. I am peace. I am harmony. I am forgiveness. I am abundance. thank you, God, for the greatest gift of the I am. And so it is. Amen and amen. Well, I hope you enjoyed that meditation. And this is our last Sunday. And I don't know what I'm going to talk about next Sunday. I'm pretty spontaneous anymore about what I'm going to talk about. Excuse me. So I hope you'll join me next Sunday for the surprise of what I'm going to talk about. By the latest, I put it on Facebook and announce it on the Facebook page by Saturday. Well, I truly hope I can share this with you, and if it comes out good, let me know, because if it comes out the way I hope it will, I'll be able to do this each Sunday when we, oh my goodness, oh goodness. Let me see if I can find it, okay? Oh, something happened here. All right, something's going on here. Let's see. Be patient with me, okay? I think I can pull it up. Yes, I am pulling it up. All right. Here we go. All right. Let's do it. All right, let me see if I can get it going. I hope you can hear this. Let there be peace on earth. And this was at a convention of Unity ministers and teachers, and they were going up the escalator in the hotel, and there was hundreds of them, and they were all singing and waving to one another. Let there be peace on earth. I hope you enjoy it. And I'll see you next week, too. Play that a million times over. I could play that a million times over. And I miss it because when we're together in the church, we sing it. We hold hands and we sway and we sing it. And I don't know. I hope they play that at my funeral. I'll have to put that in my will. I want that played. My absolute favorite song of all time. So let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with you and me. And I will close with a prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. And wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Bye. Have a great rest of the week. I love you. See you next Sunday. Bye.